Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
Hey, I'm Dum Dum, and welcome to the Dum Dum News Channel. In today's episode, CNN strikes back and actually lets icecube on the show. So, before we get started, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments below. That way the channel will grow. So, as we discussed in the first episode, make sure you go and watch that thing, please. CNN had canceled their interview with icecube, and icecube said that CNN couldn't handle the truth. And this all started because icecube decided to work with the Republican Party with President Donald Trump. So it turns out CNN let him on the show, and that's the clip we're about to watch. I haven't seen this clip, so I'm going to do my best to just give my remarks for the first time. Here we go.
Our next guest is icecube. If you know anything about him, and you probably do, you know he started his career rapping in defiance about police presence.
Oh, one more thing before we watch the video. I would only recommend you watch CNN for the entertainment value, and sometimes they get some pretty good entertainment, but that's really about it. So yeah, if anyone knows Chris Carbo, tell him I said say hello to Fredo for me. So you guys on the interwebs that may be able to make that happen, I would appreciate it.
Life. And he got political with his songs as well recently during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018. Here's a taste.
Arrest the president. You got the evidence. That is Russian intelligence.
Okay, so we just watched Ice Cube in one of his songs about arresting the president because they had the evidence. Now, I don't know if he's changed his mind or not, ever since that nothing happened with that. So it'll be interesting to see what he thinks about that now.
Now we see a shift. Now he wants to work with President Trump.
So now he wants to work with the president. Sounds good to me.
icecube got some heat for deciding to work with the Trump administration. He wants to deal with it. I want to understand it. So should you. So here is icecube on prime time. Thank you for taking the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well,
Oh my goodness. Ice Cube started right in on him. That is crazy. He said CNN News is misleading.
Platinum plan is not my plan. I came up with the contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one.
Okay, so for you guys that don't know which campaign that is, that would be the Democratic Party. He talked about that in the other video. So remember, go watch the other video.
Campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it? And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well,
Call them out. There you go, Chris Carbo. Be careful with your words.
Well, you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Well, here's the problem, and it is very personal, as you know.
Well, before we find out why it's a problem for Mr. Chris Carbo, who is probably really, really rich, I'd just like to say that he pretty much summed up what he's trying to do and who he's trying to do it for.
A lot of people of color, because they'll say, well, why would you pick Trump when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
Say I'm not picking nobody. He's the president.
But why do you think he'd want to do something for the community when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I don't know what he want to do. I just know what the man said. I know what he said to the country. I've never met Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's going to do. I just know what he said he was going to do. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd. Nobody knows from each
Very, very good point. Well said.
side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it this way.
Let's hope that campaign promises are kept. That's very important to the American people. That is part of the reason why people vote for one or for the other.
I think that you're right to be skeptical. Let's start with the Democrats, because even though there is a traditional connection between black voters and the Democrats, you could also say you've been let down or forgotten by Democrats in a lot of situations that would have mattered.
Whoa. What did I just hear? Did I just hear a host from CNN actually talk bad about the Democratic Party?
Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble, which is, do you really think that Donald Trump could be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them. I'm just going by action. That's all I'm going by.
I mean, if you are not trying to steer someone in a direction, well, please, Chris Cuomo, could you stop with that already and just report on the news? Oh, I forgot. This is entertainment.
Not going by words, not going by rhetoric, not going by media spin, not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on Team Blue, not on Team Red.
So then I have that wrong.
I'm an independent person, and I believe that's what black people need to do, is become independent, and we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's going to happen.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Look, if I had brought you here to fight with you, you would have known it. What I'm saying is, I think I did get it.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo, I think we all know why you brought him here.
Wrong, and I want to make sure I get it right. So saying you're working with the Trump team is wrong. What you did was, when they asked to talk to you about it, you said yes. If Biden had asked to talk to you about it now, you would have gone to them the same way. It's not about you choosing anything. It's you working with everybody who's got a chance of doing anything.
I'm working with whoever's in power. Yeah, I'll work with both. Whoever's in power, I'm going to.
Chris Cuomo says a statement that is equal to both sides. And you hear, and you can actually see icecube's demeanor change. And he says, I will work with both of them.
Work with. So whoever wins, they'll hear from me.
Okay, so I'm glad you came to clear it up. So icecube is not with the Trump campaign. He's just giving his ideas, and anybody who wants to do something with him, fine. Do you believe?
And of course, in the very next statement, you got to say something like that, Chris Cuomo. You don't surprise me one bit.
They are doing anything with your ideas?
I believe, you know, they looked at the contract with Black America and they updated their plan, but it's their plan. I have my plan. My plan is broad. It goes.
So we just heard that the Republican Party actually changed their plan based on the input from icecube. That's very, very important too.
I believe it's a bipartisan problem when it comes to the issues, when it comes to blacks in America and what's going on. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not for them to solve. It's not for the Republicans to solve. It's for both of them to solve. They do it when it comes to debt ceiling.
Well said. It's something for both of them to solve.
Do it when it comes to getting us in wars. They seem to come together when it's something that really affects America. And I don't think nothing affects America more than the situation that Black Americans find ourselves in.
It doesn't give you concern that the president has handled police violence the way he has in terms of his commitment to work on any of the issues that you think are important?
We've been dealing with police violence in this country from day one. So police violence is just part of our life here. So, you know, the thing is this, once we get some capital, we'll be treated better. This is a capitalistic society.
True.
And if you ain't got no money, you see how people get treated on the streets when they ain't got no money.
Not just money, wealth.
Wealth.
You got to be able to build up wealth within the community.
Yeah, you know, to put it in greater terms. But, you know, at the bottom line is, you know, dollars bring dignity. And so everybody in America knows that. When you got a little more money, they treat you a little better. So we need to close this wealth gap.
Very good point here. icecube is talking about the wealth gap, meaning some people have a lot of money and most people have very little money. And he wants that to change, specifically for the people that he wants that to change for. I will agree 100% that when you have more money, you get treated differently. And life tends to be just a little bit easier for you. So he's right on that point. Now, will that solve all the issues that we have out there? I don't think so. And he's not saying that either.
Identified. They do have access to capital of about $500 billion, but it doesn't say that it would be earmarked within the Trump plan for communities of color. But we'll see what you can get done. And I make you this promise, not just because I'm a fan, but the issue matters. As you learn and as you see action and reaction or inaction, you have a place on this show to discuss it. That's a guarantee.
I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I'll be back to discuss and let you know what I know, what I find out. But I'm gonna give it to you straight up.
It's the only way I take it. It doesn't go well any other way on this show.
Sorry, Chris Cuomo. You walk right into that one.
Cube, I wish you
right.
the best. Stay healthy. Be well.
So my final thoughts are Chris Kermer was trying to steer the direction with certain kind of questions, and Ice Cube wasn't having any of it. And then they actually got some talking done that was crucial to hear Ice Cube's message. Okay, guys, but what do you think? Leave your comments below, and let's discuss for the Dum Dum News Channel. Dum Dum.
The lead-ins are a little misleading.